All right, guys, let's talk about that writing plan. We've mentioned a couple times in these videos how our assignments build upon the previous one. So you'll notice that our writing plan is very similar to our writing notes. And that's because we are using each of these assignments as sort of a building block for the next step. That being said, it is not acceptable for you to just submit your writing notes as your writing plan. You will not get credit if you do that. Let's reassess the plan of action. How has it changed since we've done our research, since we've been thinking and critically analyzing and brainstorming? We should have a more fully developed plan than we did with our notes. So let's take a look at what we're doing with this assignment. Okay, this is our writing plan. Awesome quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson: put the argument into a concrete shape, into an image, some hard phrase, round and solid as a ball, which they can see and handle and carry home with them, and the cause is half won. So what that means is do your best to provide a whole, complete argument and hand it over to your audience, and you're halfway there, right? Awesome. So again, we're working towards a persuasive paper. We are having an argument. We are trying to persuade somebody. And remember, we talked about the difference between argument and persuasion. We often use those words as interchangeable, but argument is part of persuasion. But the thing is, you're not just having an argument. You are having a supported discussion. We're not standing on our soapboxes. We are using evidence to support what we're saying, okay? So what are we doing for this? We are going to kind of take everything we've done so far and dig into it a little bit deeper, okay? This is our writing plan. It's a plan of action for our next step. We've done our writing notes, we've done some research, put it all together, and let's move forward and have a scaffold, so to speak, of our draft, okay? So the first thing that we are doing is describing the argument that we want to address in our persuasive and explain how it relates to your major. Again, it feels a little bit familiar, but that's okay. Has your argument changed at all? Have you fine-tuned it a little bit through our conversations and your own research? State what your argument is and remind me how it connects to your major. The next thing that we're going to do is state those 3 key points. Have those key points changed? Have you developed them further? Let's consider maybe stating them as we would in our essay. What are the 3 points you're going to use to support your argument? Remember, my argument is that Futurama is the greatest animated show that's ever existed. What are the 3 points I'm going to use to convince you of that? Who is our audience? Remember, I'm not your audience. I'm just here along for the ride. Who are you talking to, and what potential challenges do you anticipate that you'll have in reaching them? Again, my example, maybe I'm arguing with somebody, maybe I'm trying to persuade somebody who doesn't even like animated shows. That's a challenge, right? How am I going to overcome that? What is your goal with this paper? Has it changed at all? List your potential resources. At this point, we've done our research. I am looking for specific titles here. What specific resources are you going to use? You mentioned them in your annotations. Mention them here again, okay? We're setting up a clear plan of action. So what specific resources do you intend on using? Provide a brief description of each and how they reinforce your point. You can use the summary that you used in your annotations for this part of this assignment. Now let's align our key points of our argument with the supporting resources. So I've got Article 1, I'm going to use that to support key point 1. I've got Article 2, I'm going to use that to support key point 2. I've got Article 3 talking about how Futurama is not the greatest animated show that's ever existed. I'm going to use that to refute key point 3 and the counter argument. Okay, so what sources are you going to use where? Okay. Talk about where you are going to integrate your evidence, at what point, and why you think it's going to be effective there. This connects with your audience. So if I'm arguing, if I'm having a persuasive argument with somebody who doesn't even like animated shows, I need to use my resources and integrate evidence that are going to convince that person. I don't just want to slapdash put in evidence in there willy-nilly. I need to have a specific plan of action. This is where I'm going to use my resource. This is why the evidence is important. The next thing that we're going to do is describe a revision strategy that would be most effective while writing this essay. And why would that revision strategy be? We're going to talk about revision quite a bit when we get to the point of revising these drafts. So I want you to sort of just consider, what revision strategies have you used in the past, what works for you, and what do you intend to use for this? Remember, all of our first drafts are shit, and that's okay. They are meant to be bad. That's why they're drafts. What are you going to do to make it better? Okay, and then review the feedback provided by me as well as your peers. Unfortunately, one of the drawbacks of online learning is not all of us are as invested in our discussion forum and workshopping activities as the rest of us, and that happens. We're all different people, bringing different situational standpoints to this classroom. But if you happen to be in a situation where your peers did not review your paper, that is unfortunate, and I will do my best in addressing that. Go ahead and focus on my feedback to you. So if you have no peer feedback, reflect on my feedback and how is it influencing your progress moving forward? What changes did you make to your writing plan after receiving outside feedback? Was it valuable? Was it not? Have a conversation about the feedback that you're using so far in this term. So those are the different steps. I know there's a lot, so if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out. So let's take a look at our critical elements. We've got exemplary in this one. Awesome, going above and beyond. Proficient needs improvement and not evident. And remember, needs improvement just means that you did some of the work, but here's how we can do it better next time. So we're going to take a look at proficient. Remember, exemplary is doing proficient, but going above and beyond. Okay, providing more detail, that and maybe more creativity and that kind of thing. So let's take a look at our argument. To be proficient, do you describe the argument to be addressed in the essay and include how it is connected to your major? 3 key points. Do you provide 3 key points? Awesome. Who is your audience? What challenges are you going to have in meeting them? The next critical element is our goal. What's your goal? Do you state your goal? Awesome. That one's pretty straightforward. Resources is our next one. Do you list specific potential resources? I'm looking for titles here, guys. Supporting the evidence and providing a brief description of each. And again, you can use the summary that you used in your annotated bibliography for this critical element. The next one, supporting resources. Do you align your key points with the resources that you intend to use, including your possible counter argument? Do you have a plan of action for integrating your evidence? Awesome. Let's talk about revision. Do you identify at least one revision strategy and describe why it would be effective? Cool. This is sort of us thinking, about future us needing to revise. What will we be doing then? Do you explore feedback either from me or from your peers or from both of us? And how you intend on using it, how you have used it, how it makes you feel, all that good stuff. And again, articulation is, are you using good grammar? So that is our writing plan. It does feel a little bit familiar because it is similar to the writing notes, but it's the step further. We've done our research. Our plan has changed a little bit. Let's talk about how. And again, I know there's a lot of steps in this one, so if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Hop onto that general discussion forum, send me a text, we can call, we can Zoom, whatever we need to do to get your questions answered. Don't get intimidated by this, guys. You've got this. Follow the steps, ask the questions. You're going to do amazing.